All right. So today we have three exciting talks. They're all gonna be related to Parkinson's disease. And we first have Katayoun Ghanai from York University. And today she's gonna be talking about Terpsichore Terpsichore in isolation, a study on the correlation between online dancing and telehealth during COVID-19 pandemic on people with Parkinson's disease. Um, and I'm your host, Alex. And if you have questions, put them in the Q&A or on the chat. And without further ado, Katayoun.
Yes, hi everybody. I'm Katayoun. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and as Alex said, my title is Terpsichore in Isolation. It's a study on the correlation between online dancing and telehealth during COVID-19 pandemic on people with Parkinson's disease. So, who is Terpsichore? Zeus, king of gods in Greek mythology, has 9 daughters, which represent art and science. Terpsichore is the goddess of dance. Her instrument is lyre, and lyre has been used for music therapy and healing since ancient times. The healing properties of David's lyre, as presented in the Old Testament, has opened a new window to me as an artist, and the concept of art serving a function beyond mere enjoyment becomes as magical as the mythology itself. Dancing with Parkinson's expands the perception of music and dance within the studio. So, what is Parkinson? Parkinson's disease is a degenerative neurological disorder with no known cure. Based on the statistics of Parkinson's Foundation, more than 10 million people have Parkinson's worldwide. Each year, about 60,000 Americans are diagnosed with the disease, with this number expected to be around 1 million this year in the US alone. In Canada, 100,000 people suffer with PD. PD develops when the nerve cells in the brain responsible for the production of dopamine are reduced to a critical level. The reason for this damage is not yet known, and the only way to decrease the pace of degeneration is to use medication. The bradykinesia appearing simultaneously together with gait problem in PD has led to Foundation of Movement Disorders Society, MDS, in 1985 by David Marston and Stanley Fawn to provide support for the latest research and diagnosis for people with Parkinson's through designing a unified scale rate, UPDRS, for evaluation non-motor and motor function of people with PD, and other standards questionnaires such as PANASEX in order to bring all studies in the same direction. So among all the researches that have been done, Dance for PD is a program which has been, I can't find my mouse here, which has been running in the world for 10 years. Research has shown positive effects of dance on PD. In order to get familiar with what was going on in the live classes, I will describe the classes at NBS Canada. The format of the dance classes was an hour class once a week with a certified dance instructor and a pianist. Each class had a number of volunteers who would watch for the dancers and assist them whenever needed. The elements of the dance class were a combination of jazz, step, ballet, Argentinian tango, dance theater, and freestyle, and a choreographed movement. Based on Mark Murray's technique, the class had a routine in which half of the class was seated and half was standing. Closing ceremony always was standing in a big circle, holding hands and bowing to each other, saying thank you. And there was a special thank you to the piano player from everybody. Each part would be performed with a specific beat, and the music would be matched with the narrative that the choreographer would improvise. The piano player would either improvise or play a theme arranged to fit the storyline. The instructor would ask him to increase or decrease the tempo based on the mood or capability of the dancers in each session. And the pianist would continue playing as long as the instructor continued the narration. Dancing at NBS or Trinity was more a theatrical dance, which involved free imagination of the dancers at the same time. And participants in Dance with PD Canada have built a community during all these years. The testing process which our team was doing consisted of one fMRI at the beginning of the period of the research and one at the end of each period of research. It also consisted of 2 parts each time, filling out the forms of PANASEX for evaluation of the mood and UPDRS test for evaluation of motor control, working memory, attention, and EEG scanning before dancing, The second part was the same test immediately after dancing. The participants had to take a more detailed form to home and fill that out during the week and would bring it back to the class the week after. With the announcement of a pandemic situation, studio classes for dance with Parkinson's all over Canada was officially closed. The people with PD are considered as one of the most vulnerable population of the society in the world. Thus, even with opening all other activities in gyms and schools, people with Parkinson's in the world, thus even with opening all these activities, should take precautions not to contract the virus. Sarah Robichaud announced starting her online class in April 2020. This class has been running since then, and all seniors from all over the country can join every day via Zoom and free of charge. It's all seated with the same routine as live classes while they were seated. The only difference is that the music is recorded and normally with lyrics. As an example, every day 60 people on average will attend in Sarah's class. Since the class is online and everybody can easily access from their homes, elderly without Parkinson's have also the chance to participate. Only a few cameras are on and most of them are off. And the cameras which are on don't give the possibility for the dancers to watch each other as they dance. They have to set it at speaker's view to be able to see the instructor. Many people don't know each other, and although sometimes they talk at the end of the class, they don't have the opportunity to connect to each other. Although we should pay attention that this may be the only social interaction for some people during the day. The instructor, from the other hand, doesn't have a proper connection to the dancers to feel their mood and choose the songs based on that. Time is very limited, and she should have already chosen the order of songs, which can sometimes accommodate her own mood on that day. Since the instructor should talk at the same time that music is played, the quality of sound is not as good as it should be. The same decision was done for going online in other countries such as the United States, Malta, England, Brazil, Germany, Italy, France, Australia, and South Africa. Dance for PD organization based on the Mark Morris Foundation in New York has 26 affiliates in different cities throughout the United States who are running online classes. Although each class may have its own content, but almost all of them are free of charge. And Dance for PD organization, founded by Brooklyn Parkinson's Group in collaboration with Mark Morris Dance Group in 2001, has 300 communities all around the world. Some classes in the world never went online, such as in Germany and France. Some became online, but the demand for it dropped in time, such as Australia. Online dance classes are held differently in each country, from once a week to every day in 20 minutes to 1 hour length. With all these differences, it's been 6 months that 30 people with Parkinson's on average are attending the classes of Sarah Robichaud every day. So since the effects of dance on the brain, motor function, cognition, and mood of people with PD have been studied, the focus of this study is to compare the effects of music on dance with PD. With the need of the new world for being more virtual, live music will not be accessible anymore. The studying on the effects of the recorded music on dance with PD can help the administrators to plan and design better for the future of the online dance programs. Terpsichore shall dance. So this study's primary focus is to compare the post-pandemic virtual dance courses with the pre-pandemic live classes with respect to two essential aspects of the classes that have been influenced by the pandemic: the presence of live music and social gatherings. And we have two variables: a dependent, which is the mood of the participants measured by PANASEX, and an independent variable, the role of music measured by the hours of participation per week. There are two research questions. The first one is, what is the role of music in virtual dancing classes in helping people with PD's well-being and their quality of life? And my hypothesis is that recorded music has an advantage to live music for people with PD in their transition from live classes to the virtual classes. And the second question can be, does the number of hours that one participates in Dance with PD's program virtual classes correlate with the participant's mood? And my hypothesis is that participating in Dance with PD virtually is going to positively correlate with participants' mood. In order to study this, we have two groups of individuals, the ones who were dancing before in live classes and the ones who are dancing now online classes. And we are sending out online surveys to the participants in the virtual classes. And our data analysis is going to be a correlation study on patients' moods obtained through PANASEX before and after class and hours of participation during the week. We will create a matched cohort designed to compare the influence of participation in live versus virtual classes. We will measure the influence of music on the correlations through analyzing the questions from COVID-19 music survey that we have designed. And we have contacted already 28 locations with online dance for PD. We have received responses from 14 locations, and Qualtrics links are being filled by different participants throughout the world. There are, of course, limitations in our study. There is not enough data from the same individuals who continued with the Institute's dancing classes after the pandemic, and there is a limitation regarding the language barriers for collecting international data. And there are future directions for this study, which can be a longitudinal study of online dancing and the progression of diseases in PD patients. That's it. And special thank you to my head lab, Dr. Joseph DeSouza, and Dr. Michael Coughlin as my supervisor, music department. Thank you.
All right, so we have a few minutes for questions. If anyone wants to ask questions in the Q&A right now, would be a great time. And thank you, Katayoun, for a great talk. So we have the first question on the chat. It's what type of dancing do the participants engage in?
So it's almost unified in all countries. Mark Morris group has designed this dance. I had the details of it. So it's part seated, part standing, and in different countries, they use different kinds of dance, like they use elements of ballet, jazz, Argentinian tango, and they start with warming up the body, first seated, and then little by little, they stand up and do pliés, ballet movements, and they move all the parts of the body. Actually, I talked to India last night. They have also these online classes. They use Bollywood music and they use Indian elements of dance. So it's different in each culture, but the purpose is to move every part of the body possible for these people.
All right, that is great. I have a question. So, have you been able to measure the on your assays the mood of participants after the online classes?
Yes. So now the Qualtrics link that we have sent to them includes the PANASEX questionnaire for mood. So they have to fill it out before they start the class. And then immediately after the class, they have to fill the same form again. And we compare it together to measure how the mood has changed after dancing.
What are the results so far?
I'm still collecting data, but before COVID-19, because we have all those data, the results were very positive.
Fantastic. So we have another question in the audience from the chat. How is the therapeutic value in comparison with other more traditional measures?
So there have been many other studies out there comparing dance with exercise, comparing dance with Tai Chi, comparing dance with ballet. And dance has lots of promising results. Dance has been so far worked better on people with Parkinson's.
All right, well, thank you, Katayoun. If there are no more questions, or we can leave it